Hi, welcome to I Wanna Like This. This week, we are blessed with the tangent-heavy episode thanks to our friend Sierra. Sierra is the president of the Feminist Club, well, founder and president of the Feminist Club at Rock Valley College, and she is quite delightful, and her mind wanders as much as Jerry's and Jerry actually sits in on this podcast, so we get to hear a lot from him, and my assistant Ann Hawker makes an appearance. This week we discussed 500 Days of Summer. I don't remember when that film came out. I should probably have IMDb. I'm not a professional. But we talked 500 Days of Summer, and we had a lot of fun. Well, with what we talked about 500 Days of Summer. We talked about a lot of things. I hope you enjoy this episode. I had a lot of fun. Well, here it is. I Wanna Like This. Episode 22. 500 Days of Summer with Sierra Murphy. She's still here.
No, he was just, he wasn't stuck or anything. Second I went to feed him, he got up, jumped out of the bunk. But like before that, he's like, no, I'm not fucking doing shit. But you're recording, you son of a bitch. This is what happens, is I just started talking to people, and then he starts recording. Normally I know it, because he's like, recording, and I'm like, oh,
That's why he's starting glaring at me.
yeah. He's like, don't talk, and as soon as he's staring her down now. So, yeah, this is fun. I don't know how to say. I guess I'll just blah blah blah. We came here for a reason. Yes, you have water. I'm a decent host somehow. Is everything good, Jerry? Jerry, happy with how it sounds? You always sound in here, always, but we're not in studio. Well, hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to I Wanna Like This. Today on the podcast, we have the fantastic, pretty headstrong, amazingly so. And I want to say friend, but it's more like acquaintance. We've only seen each other like 5 times in our life.
Yes. Out of how many years?
Oh, God. 4?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, 2011 or so.
Mm-hmm.
You want to introduce yourself to the listeners?
Hi, I am the president of the Feminist Club at Rock Valley College. My name is Sierra.
Yay! Sierra is a delightful person, but if you already clicked on the shot of this, you also know she's, well, Sierra. I know why you clicked on this. It wasn't my ugly mug.
Was this the one of me picking my nose?
I don't know. I haven't edited it yet. We'll see. We take a lot of stupid pictures to do those things.
I might just be the one to go ahead and edit that.
It's just going to be all the pictures of me with the Sailor Moon folder then.
I'll let you know after it's uploaded.
Damn it,
Or
no.
we can just use the meme.
Yeah. You just start right.
I have that.
It's true.
So,
We really have to push that into the internet world.
Oh, we can put that on we can put that on the goddamn Twitter handle and Facebook page and all that. Yeah. But today, Sierra has chosen a film that I kind of liked. I like, but I have problems with it, and it's got a very fantastic soundtrack, and people are liking it. And she decided to pick 500 Days of Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. Why? Well, we have 4 questions.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you.
All right.
I mean, there's going to be other questions, but there's 4 questions to the body of this.
Okay.
But, you're president of the Feminist Club.
I am.
Is there anything else? Like, what is essentially Sierra?
What is essentially Sierra? I am a strong 25-year-old independent woman.
She is.
quarter of a century.
No, I'm going to school to become a social worker. I worked with kids and adults with disabilities for the last 2 years. And that's what inspired me to go back to school and to finally get my degree. I'm also an avid Star Wars fan.
Girl after my own heart. Girl after my own heart.
That I share that with, people in the room.
Yeah, everyone in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink coffee on a daily basis.
Which is why she knows my assistant.
Yes. Do you know what I drink? Do you know what I drink by heart now?
You can talk on the podcast, fuck Jerry.
I just like giving her dirty looks because it's funny. She's like,
But do you know what it is?
Doom, doom, dead time.
no, she has no clue.
No.
She's completely.
She doesn't really like her job. That's the problem.
That's why she works for me, hoping that one day I'll be able to pay her.
She is a barista. She doesn't enjoy being a barista.
Well, I enjoy seeing you there when I get my tall vanilla latte with soy.
I knew it.
Oh, I'm also a vegetarian, so people hate me for that too.
I know, I spend half the year as a vegetarian. I just
Yeah, I've been going off and on.
keeps me lean.
I can't quit eating fish. Can't do it because I love
Okay,
sushi.
well,
too much.
technically I'm a pescatarian.
Yeah.
I do eat seafood, and I probably could never give up cheese. That would, yeah, I'm too Midwestern for that.
Well, at least you're not vegan. Vegetarian's fine.
What? There's nothing wrong with vegans. Jerry, don't get us in fucking trouble with vegans.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with vegan. I'm just saying she can eat cheese as a vegetarian.
Yeah,
She's
but
not
you
a
said it
vegan.
as, at least you're not a vegan. Like, it was something to be
No,
like...
I'm just saying at least you're not vegan, so eating cheese has no
This is not a conversation about anything we actually are on topic for.
Some vegetarians won't eat cheese because they will use like lining of like animal stomach and to process like cheese and stuff, and so that's why people won't eat that.
Those people are quitters.
God damn it, Jerry. None of this is going to be usable. And it's all going to go in. We don't edit anything in this podcast.
I do a few things here and there.
Yes.
Are we allowed to swear on this?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
No, you may not. I'm just gonna start bleeping out things to make it PG, just to see, because he never listens to
If
anything.
you pull a fucking Grace Helbig on it and you edit and you bleep it right after I say fuck, that would be great.
Fuck yeah.
We're here to just, God damn it. We are 5 minutes into this podcast. We're completely off the fucking track.
7 actually.
God damn it. But
We were the first 5 you guys didn't even know.
No.
Oh god, I'm trying to be the host and steer this back. But we're going to talk about 500 Days of Summer.
Yes.
And, well, why did you get excited about this movie?
I really liked the idea of the cast.
The cast is phenomenal.
And Zoe Deschanel and
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
yeah, they've been in they've been in a few movies together before.
Stop 1 second. Jared made a joke about Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. What everyone doesn't understand is Sierra agreed to do this podcast about 500 Days of Summer. When she showed up here today, she was so delirious from lack of sleep until we pumped a bunch of tea into her that she thought that we were asking her to podcast about 50 first dates. And then I'm like, well, you have to have a reason why you're excited about the movie 500 Days of Summer. And we kept saying 500 Days of Summer to her. She's like, well, I remember the two of them as a duo in The Wedding Singer, and we're all like, we're Zoe Deschanel and Joseph Gordon-Levitt in The Wedding Singer?
I was trying to place it. I haven't
We
seen
were
it in a while.
lost because we're like, was Zoe Deschanel blonde in The Wedding Singer?
And then we just let it go, and then we came back
And then we're like, no,
later.
500 Days of Summer. And she's like,
And then it
oh, it clicked in her head. She's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do the. I said I was gonna do 500 Days of Summer. And I'm like, that's what we've been saying the whole time.
I
What?
swear, for some reason, I thought you said 50 First Dates, and I was like, I have never said 50 First Dates. I was like, that was not the movie. You're like, yes, it was. You were so adamant about it. I'm like,
Because I said 500 Days of Summer.
Repeatedly.
I literally went home that night and downloaded the movie.
oh, Tess. Yeah, I know. Lack of sleep.
But as we get back, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Zoe Deschanel.
Yes.
I love the two and just about everything they do. I've watched just about every Zoe Deschanel film, but she's fantastic. Like, she makes a lot of independent films, and I love independent films.
Well, and I also was intrigued by the idea because they also introduce that movie as it's not a love story.
Yes.
And so you know that at the end of the movie they're not going to be together.
Yes.
But I liked the idea of seeing the whole relationship play out.
The concept is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is based off of a couple of relationships of the writer. He based it off of his life and relationships in his past. So there's a lot of
truth to what he wrote. How that translates into whether or not the film is good or not, or how it meets expectations is beyond the point. But the idea is really cool. The cast, when I look at the cast, there's so many people I didn't expect in this movie that were just amazing. Like, they would do other things, like Yvette Nicole Brown, who is phenomenal in Community, and she's hilarious. And Clark Gregg is in this movie as his boss, before Clark Gregg is Clark Gregg, and he's just kind of great.
Well, and his two friends, too.
Jeffrey Armand and Matthew Gray Gluer, who's in, like, CSI or one of those shows, is like a prodigy. And he's a fantastic actor. And Chloe Grace Moretz is in this film as his little sister.
Yeah, and who gives him advice.
Yeah, she's the smartest person in the entire
She's
fucking
10
movie.
years old, and she knows more about relationships than her stupid brother.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I just looking at the cast now, there's so many great people who've done so many other small roles or so many bigger roles afterwards. It's just like, oh wow, they kind of knocked casting out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the concept's really good.
Soundtrack was great.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, we just moved on to stuff we actually like about it. Because the cast is something that makes me excited about a film, but also can be something I love about a film. And I kind of love all their performances. So what did you like about this film?
I liked, actually the cinematography of it, too. I liked how they broke it down where it, like, played back from when they were together to, like, post-breakup. And then the
color saturation is different in both, too. It's a lot brighter when you see it through his eyes before he takes a look back.
Yeah, and there was the point where they were in the film where they do reality versus expectations.
Yes.
I love that side by side, too.
The party scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is a fantastic scene.
Mm-hmm. When he finds out that she's engaged, and she didn't tell him.
Yes, she didn't tell him ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple things I really like about this film. I actually wrote like my likes on this film, and I wanted to hear yours because there's a bunch of stuff in it. Like right off the bat, I love the musical number.
Oh yeah,
The dream sequence musical number is phenomenally shot. It's like really great. It's it's fun and it's just a really great scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so out of place for what you think you're getting in the film that it makes it very abundant that this is his perspective of the world.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like, that's what I liked about it. And like you see it literally from his eyes and from his perspective, and then his expectations of it.
And then you see versus the reality later, which I thought was a really cool idea because it is one of those things where it has honesty in the idea of what a relationship is.
Mm-hmm. But not even just a relationship, but your expectations on a person, because it wasn't just the
I don't mean just in relationships and romantic, I mean in any relationships.
Well, right, but I see it as like his expectations on this person, and then that also leads to, I think, the audience, because you feel for him, you understand the heartbreak if you've ever been, rejected by somebody, and so
the projection that
and so you understand where he's going, where he's coming from, and you feel that heartbreak, and so you're like, oh, and then you decide almost against her, like why can't you see this great guy? But that's the whole point of this film, and that's why I'm sorry if I'm jumping a little ahead of myself.
No, it's fine.
Why I don't like it is because
that actually is one of the reasons I don't like it, but it's also one of the reasons I do like it, because it is very honest. Because when we are in a relationship, I find when anyone's in a relationship, there's three forms of the relationship. There's the form you have in your head, the form that they have in their head, and then what everyone else around you
mean the
sees.
truth?
Well, no, because perception is still reality, because not everyone sees every moment in a relationship, and not everyone sees what their lover or their other significant other sees in their head. So, we're just seeing it from him, so it is projection. And I think everyone does that in a relationship for a long time in relationships. It takes a lot of work to get past just projecting your own emotional landscape. Like, it's easy to say, well, they wouldn't do this because you don't see it in yourself, so you wouldn't see why. Like, if you have low self-esteem, it's hard to understand why no one would be attracted to you because you don't see it in yourself and you think everyone sees like you do, and that's not true.
I guess it just, it really, took me a few times watching it to understand because like I was mad, like everyone thought that I was mad at her for not going for him and then deciding she wants to be married, to somebody else, and she said, no, I don't believe in love and all this stuff. No, it wasn't that I was mad at her. It was more I was mad at him because he was so unhealthy about the relationships, in general. And plus, I mean, at the end of it, he meets Autumn. So then there's the first day of Autumn, and it's going to now project all of his expectations on her.
Yes.
He's still unhealthy about, what he sees as, this true romance and this, like, romantic, like, ideal.
You're literally hitting on stuff I have for the next section, but I still want to talk. There's still things that I like, and I wonder if there's any things you like.
Okay.
Because I love the chemistry between the two actors, Deschanel and Levitt, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I just think they have a great click. Like, you can tell they're real friends outside of everything. Because they just, the way they banter back and forth, the way they talk, the way...
Even their body chemistry.
Exactly.
Very natural. Mm-hmm.
And it's something... I don't like romantic movies in the most part because bad chemistry just can throw everything off.
Mm-hmm.
But when people click on screen, it's magnetic. You don't want to stop watching, which I think also makes it a bigger shock for people at the end because they feel the connection that they see on screen, which is just a representation of his projection.
Mm-hmm.
But the last thing I really like is that first time you see the bench scene, the park bench scene, and he's drawing the city.
On her, or
yeah, he's drawing the city on her, and he's doing the correction. But this is really beautifully shot scene in this park and the city and landscape behind in front of them. I really like that shot.
I actually think it's really funny that there's, like, in parts of the movie where it goes on, you can tell where she looks at it when she's dating him. And she doesn't want to be in, like, this, dedicated committed relationship, but she sees the red flags from him. Like, she really wants to like him because she thinks that he's a great guy and he's good on paper, but there's even jokes that she'll say when they're out together, and he'll be like, no, stop. Or he kind of... what's it called? Like, he kind of, like, smothers it a little bit, and then you see, like, her kind of hope of it, thinking it was going to be a funny moment, and then it's not. And so
he quells the things that would be outside of his perspective of her, of what he wants.
And they're playing the penis game.
Yes!
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I forgot about the penis game. I think it was
Penis.
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 Penis!
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 Penis! Penis!
Penis.
And that's when Jerry's mother stormed in.
She's just like, what the fuck? She doesn't even ask questions.
She doesn't anymore. If I'm here, she's just
like, she probably doesn't even realize you're here. She's just like,
oh, she knows I'm here.
She's probably just watching a movie. Hi, Mom! She can hear me through the vents. I've been told. For other reasons.
This is great. Oh, what you guys can't see is Anne, my assistant, is just beet red, and she's a very lily white girl. It's fantastic. Sarah's changing subjects completely. Sarah, is there anything else in this movie you liked?
What else about this movie did I like? Oh, I just thought it was also very interesting that he worked for a greeting card company.
When he wants to be an architect?
Yeah. Well, not even just that, but I just thought that how does one become a greeting card? Like, how does one...
Yeah, because of going back to Adam Sandler movies, it's Mr. Deeds. Hallmark is a tough cookie to crack.
It just goes full circle.
Yeah, it does.
We do here.
This movie was actually, like, disguised as a Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
The part was given to Adam Sandler first, and he turned it down.
And then they realized they should probably do something other than Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
They should find an actor.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
At least Drew Barrymore was always good.
I love Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler together.
Everything outside of that, Adam Sandler just...
Ever since the end of Waterboy, yeah, it's just been downhill.
Although Mr. Deeds, Winona Ryder, and
51st Dates came out after.
I know. I'm saying outside of the two of them
Big
together.
Daddy was funny.
Big Daddy
Had
was
his moment.
okay.
Yeah.
Big Daddy did have his moments.
What was that?
Which most of those moments were garbage in the soundtrack.
Okay, that's not true because some of his serious roles were good.
Oh, yeah, Punch Drunk Love is amazing.
Punch Drunk Love was really good. I heard The Cobbler was fantastic. I still haven't seen it
What's
yet.
the one that he plays with where he knows like a veteran that comes back?
Oh, Reign Over Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
really good. Yeah, he was like a depressed musician.
Oh, and then everyone loved Click.
No.
I didn't like Click.
I didn't either.
But everyone raved about it.
I loved it in theaters, and then somebody gave it to me as a
I'm so
present.
glad all of us don't like Click.
It was a really cool premise, but
Yeah, well, it's like this movie. It has a really cool premise, and there's things to like about it.
yeah.
But why?
No, you know what he was really great at? Funny people.
Oh,
Funny
yeah.
people.
Yeah, that was really good too. That was honest.
Well, yeah.
That was very honest.
That was
Which-
a movie that I think a lot of people also didn't understand. Kind of like this film.
Yeah, it's like there were so many inside
There's people
jokes.
that just
If
miss
you're not on the
them.
inside, you're not
That's what
gonna get
I
it.
kind of like those movies. When I don't like them because they miss other people's boat, but I like when people aren't worried about catering to the lowest common denominator.
Spanglish.
Spanglish was good.
Spanglish was good.
I like when comedians will go out of their way to do some of the things because
Yeah,
like,
so that's what it
Will
is.
Ferrell's best film he's ever done is completely not a Will Ferrell movie. It's Stranger Than Fiction.
I was gonna say I love Stranger Than Fiction.
That's one of my
Plus,
that's one of my top 5. No, top 10. It'd be like 6.
Well, we've definitely talked about stuff you like on this podcast, not about the movie we're talking about. God. I'm trying. But no, okay, so we've touched a lot of like stuff.
Yes.
Now let's get into the dislikes. Why does this movie not live up to expectations?
Well, I think I did kind of hit on it.
Oh,
a
you
little.
started.
Yeah, it started to, but
Now I'm gonna let you go.
it was just his unhealthy,
Yeah.
unrealistic versions of like what this, relationship was. And in the beginning, and people in the film will tell him over and over again, how he's mad at her that she breaks this off, and they say, well, she didn't want a relationship in the first place. She told you that, right? And he's like, well, yeah, but still. And, he completely dismisses her feelings because,
He's
well,
very
damn it was
entitled.
my feelings. Yeah, it was very entitled. And like I said, right after summer, he goes right into autumn. And it's almost like he's
And he
gonna do
doesn't
that
even.
again.
He does. The thing I don't like about it is his character's not strong enough, and like a lot of times people get mad at her character for not falling for the guy. But it's
Yeah.
like, no, all the signs are there. She was always honest with him. She's the respectable one about this. He's being a child about it, and then he's wallowing in self-pity. He finally starts to do something for himself by going to architecture firms, and he can't have we can't just see him grow and become okay with everything. Like the autumn scene would have been fine had the previous scene right before it been like the moment of closure, quote unquote, with Summer. She has to show up one last time to tell him that it's okay, he can search for that, and
And he's still mad at her because she finally tells him, you know what, you're right, love does exist. It just wasn't with you. And he's still mad at her because he's, not even, he can't really be happy for her.
Which is why I think the autumn scene, it just falls into exactly the same thing, which is exactly what it was aiming for. Summer, autumn.
Yeah.
It's the same thing played out. It shows no growth in him.
And that's the problem I have with the movie. His character doesn't grow, and I like to watch characters grow in features.
Even though he finally decides to go for the career that he wanted.
Yeah, at least he's taking some positive steps.
He is
first.
growing, but he's not there yet.
Yeah.
But it's like...
I think that might be one of the points, too. Because this is based, the writer did base this on a lot of his relationships in the past, and it is very self-referential to himself. So it might be just the stage in his life where he still wasn't ready.
Yeah, it probably would. He doesn't have his life together.
The only thing...
It doesn't have to be this movie where he figures everything out, you know?
The other thing I don't like about it is that she does get married. It kind of made me feel like I get where it does in the story and how it might be self-referential to something that happened in his life, but I kind of like the idea of someone not believing in a traditional belief system, but they kowtow to the traditional belief that everyone finds that one and no one can have that kind of life where they don't want to have those connections.
I used to feel that way too. When I first saw it, I was mad that she got married, and basically for the same reasons, because I thought
I'm not mad that she married another dude. I'm just mad that that's
she got married in general.
representation they have.
No, that's when I first saw it. That was my first thought of it too. Like, I was mad that she was just married in general, and I thought, well, why am I so mad about that?
And then it's a projection thing on my side or your side.
Yeah, I think that like it was because like at that time I was kind of like her, where I'm like, no, true love doesn't exist and things like that, and so I was like mad that she believed in this thing that I didn't also believe. But again, as I watched it a few other times, and as the years go on, I'm like, no, like that was okay.
Yeah,
that was okay that she found that.
Yeah, she finds the thing that clicks for her,
mm-hmm.
and it works for her, and that was the whole point of this. The movie is about finding the thing that works for you with someone.
Another thing that I guess to going back to the things I did like, I like how he's not mentioned at all. Really, the person she married, she doesn't. There's no. I think you see his face once.
Yeah, at the party.
Yeah, or even like when they get married and like they show like her taking the veil off or something, kissing him, but like you don't know anything else about him. You don't know his career, his personality, or things that won them over. She just said she met him at a cafe or a coffee shop.
Yeah. I do like that because it's very much from his perspective. He
mm-hmm.
doesn't mention her wedding at all, doesn't say congratulations at that scene, still very bitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't like his character towards the end. Like, I want him to be better. And not just like, I don't just want a better character. I want the character, because I invested in this character for an hour and a half, to be better and like to feel better.
Also, I guess like to note things that were from his perspective, it was always something that it was things that he liked, like the Smiths, the Graduate, things that they had things in common with, or that they mutually liked. That's what he was standing their relationship on. It was nothing else except for things that he liked and that also mirrored him.
Yeah, it wasn't about her, it was about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's the problem with like I think that's the one thing, like that makes sense why they break up, and it makes sense for the whole driving force of the movie. But he doesn't.
But you see that in so many immature relationships.
Exactly.
Where, oh, you like the same band as I do? You're the love of my life. but do you want kids? No, not really. Do you want to live in the city or the suburbs or like anything else that would
mm-hmm.
Connect somebody?
Yeah.
But it's just these very superficial, materialistic things.
Yeah, and they don't respect like the idea of the full person. Doesn't come into bed. And that's the thing about the projection idea in this. And I think that's my main problem with this movie, is the concept that I'm okay with him being the guy who projected and have this relationship, and that's why it ends.
Are we hating this movie, or are we just really hating him?
No, I don't. What I don't like is that he doesn't grow. Like, the whole point of telling a story, and like the hero's tale, is the growth in the struggle through something, and to come out the other side different, and to come out the other side better. And he just comes out the other side pretty much the same, just looking for a better job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's not really any character growth.
Yeah. And the person who constantly points it out to him is his 10-year-old sister, which shows like the most emotional immaturity possible. Is that his child sister is the one who's constantly going, why don't you see this? Why don't you get this?
Why do you think she knows more about love than he does?
I don't know, but I always love that juxtaposition. Like, that one Ryan Reynolds movie, Definitely Maybe, where his daughter is like,
yes.
You're stupid.
You love this one, and
I already know who Mom is.
Mm-hmm.
You're an idiot. Fix this.
You smoked?
Yeah. How dare you? What do you mean practicing? Okay.
And it was just one of those things where it's just upsetting that a character doesn't grow to me. And now I just, in my head, I'm like, what if his sister doesn't exist? What if that's just a... What if that's something, a literal projection in his
that
mind?
sounds like one of those like BuzzFeed theories that people like do for like the Disney movies.
What if he's just got schizophrenia and part of him knows
everything
he needs to grow
is related,
up. And part of him knows he needs to grow up.
He becomes an architect for dreams.
God damn
and he meets Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, this is how we get into Inception.
Yeah. That's what it all is!
And replace one cute indie girl with the next one.
Yeah.
We never do, like, 7 Degrees of Bacon anymore. It's always Inception. It's the new 7 Degrees of Bacon.
Oh, my God. That's because Kevin Bacon isn't in enough stuff anymore.
No.
Nope.
The last good thing I saw Kevin Bacon in was Stir of Echoes.
Ooh.
Stir of Echoes.
That last good thing you saw Kevin Bacon?
I was gonna say
I like
cameo
Stir of
on Will and
Echoes.
Grace.
He was in an episode of Will and
He was
Grace.
Jack
Wow.
Stalker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, okay, the last good thing that I saw Kevin Bacon in were those, was it the Geico? The commercials he did.
Oh.
My wife says if I get any closer to Kevin Bacon, I might actually be Kevin Bacon.
He's in another commercial about breakfast,
Yeah.
talking about bacon with eggs.
Of course.
It's great. Like,
He should be the
I
next like
haven't
angry
seen
person for the
anything that
Snickers
he's
commercial.
done recently.
I would love to see him as the angry. I hate that they went to the hangry because I had a commercial for Why Wait, but it's kind of mean spirited in the worst way. You can tell I thought of the idea when I was 15. It's just always been in my head. And it's just, I always pictured this overweight kid sitting outside of a bakery, and like it says we open at 6, and he just looks at a watch and it says 5:45. He's just hungry, and he just pulls out a Snickers, and he just sits in front of the bakery eating a Snickers, waiting.
They get so much backlash.
I know. In the 90s, you could have got away with it.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
And
Or
that'd be
2000. It
different
was
place.
2000.
Different time.
Yeah. People weren't so quick to throw the "you're wrong" flag, which is sad, but it's a new age.
X-Men First Class. That was the last good thing I saw Kevin Bacon in.
yeah, he was in that
Yeah.
movie briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, he's the villain in it. He's Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah, but he wasn't memorable in that movie.
Well, not with the other
No,
performances.
he wasn't. That's why I was like, oh yeah, Kevin Bacon was.
He's kind of phenomenal in it, though, when he's in it.
I'd have to rewatch it.
He's the Nazi doctor.
The Nazi
Yeah.
doctor.
All I remember is he's the guy that Magneto gets the helmet from.
I
Yeah.
know.
That's really it.
When he drives
That thing.
The coin.
going right through his head, that Nazi gold through his head. Wow, so...
So, anything else you don't like about
Yeah.
100 Days of Summer?
Stop doing my job.
Do it better and I won't have to.
Well, I was getting back to it!
Just kidding.
This is the most awkward of the podcasts we've ever done.
Nah.
I think like I hit like the big points of why I dislike that movie. And then again, like I think I was just mad with like everyone's interpretation of it, of, you know, to be mad at her, which, sorry if that sounds too president of the feminist club, but
No,
like, it kinda,
I'm the worst person because I've already said on this podcast on a earlier episode that if you're not a feminist and you're not egalitarian, you can stop listening right fucking now.
You're a card-carrying feminist.
I am a card-carrying feminist, yes.
good.
I'm proud of it. And so I completely agree with you. I don't like that people get mad at her because it's like she was always honest.
Mm-hmm.
She was always straight up. She shouldn't just fall at the nice guy because he keeps doing all the nice guy things. That's bullshit. You fall in love with the person you fall in love with.
Well, and that's what you hear all the time is, well, if you're a nice guy,
Yeah, that's the
Nice guys
stupid
finish
bullshit
last.
that patriarchy taught us fucking...
friend zone.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking stupid shit that doesn't exist. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
It pisses me off way too much. I'll get on a fucking feminist rant. It's not fun. I don't like fucking dudes half the time. Like, I don't like dudes. I like guys. I like people who will just... Cool. We can talk. I don't like dudes. Fuck them.
The bros.
Even his best friends in the film give him like the worst advice.
Yeah, they do. They give him horrible advice.
Most guys usually do. That was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It's very
If you're
accurate.
gonna get advice from a dude, make sure he knows how to walk in heels.
Mm-hmm.
There you
Air
go.
5. High five.
God damn it, they saw Hot Tub Time Machine 2 and they keep doing that.
It's wonderful.
I'm gonna have to watch it, but there's one last question in this then.
Okay.
What would you have done differently? How would you make this film enjoyable for you?
What would I have done differently to make the film enjoyable?
Yeah. For you, what would you have done differently?
Well, I mean,
Because the cast is perfect. Cinematography is great.
I don't mind him kind of hitting rock bottom, but after he hit rock bottom, I would have liked to have seen him grow from that.
Yeah.
I would be completely fine seeing him be upset and, hating her, but then after having this realization and growth going, you know what? It's not her fault.
Yeah.
And he never did that in the movie. Even though when he's like, I truly think you're happy, he doesn't say it.
Yeah.
He didn't truly, mean that. He just said that because
That's what a nice guy's
that's what
supposed
a
to
nice
say.
guy does.
They need the Goodwill Hunting moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fault.
No, yeah, that's what they need. He needs a moment that is actually, like, defining of him.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't being a
Well,
fucking...
something also just kind of humbling about him. Like, maybe, I didn't really think about her. Maybe if he was starting to date someone else in the film, maybe he asked, questions more about her instead of just me.
Yeah. I think that's it. I just think
He needs to not be selfish.
Yeah. Needs to grow the fuck up. And we never get that moment in the movie. And the closest
Just build a building.
the closest thing we get to him growing up is that they have that moment at the bench. I fucking hate that goddamn moment. Because he's still bitter. He doesn't learn anything, and he goes from, I'm heartbroken about this one, oh, there's another pretty one. And he just switches, and he just goes to the next thing. And that's fucking, shows problems with, a codependency issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because the second he doesn't have the girl, he is completely depressed again.
Mm-hmm.
And the second he thinks he's going to get her back before he goes to the party, he's all fucking happy. He's got spring in his step, and then he just goes to shit again with reality.
That is your foundation of a toxic relationship when you throw yourself into somebody completely and you have nothing. You have no substance to yourself. You are relying on that person to make you something.
Yeah, and I think that's something that all these... I like this movie because if he had a moment of growth where he could get past it, that'd be cool. But this movie does point out, the flaw in all these movies you see, because they are so superficial in their romances, that he is the leading man in a lot of nice guy romantic movies.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at how the character archetype and all that, he does all of the things in those movies and all the media and all this bullshit that tells you be this nice guy, you get the nice girl. And he doesn't get the nice girl, because that's not how fucking life works. It's not all about what you do and who you are that gets the girl you want. It also happens to deal with who she is and what she wants. And he never takes that into account from the beginning, because she tells him right off the bat she doesn't want a relationship.
Well, it's also... It's not even just her. He has in his mind what the perfect girl is, and she just happened to be there. So even if it was somebody else, he would have just fallen in love with her completely. If it was somebody else who, sang the Smiths in the elevator or something else,
he would have fallen in love with his perception of her.
It would have been Autumn. If he would have met Autumn before Summer, it could have, it could have been just her as well. So
didn't have to be a Smith song. It could have been something else.
Yeah, whatever, band was trendy to
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool building.
Yeah. Now it's all I could have taken.
There were the whole time we've mentioned architecture, I've only thought about how this could be made better.
Yeah.
And it already has been made better.
Is it How I Met Your
Yes.
Mother?
Yeah.
Which people are mad about anyway.
Why?
Because they hate the finale.
I loved it.
I love the finale. I just didn't think it was long enough to do it justice.
Sad.
Kind of exactly. How do you
It was
not
sad
know
because
that their mom was
it was
dead?
sad because it was the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I put a lot
Yeah.
into the show, and it was the end.
Yeah. At least you didn't put a lot into a show the first season it aired and then it never got renewed. Fuck you, Fox.
Well, what's the quote from there is chemistry is everything, but then you also have to have timing, and timing is a bitch, and Robin explaining that to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the whole point of that.
That's what he needs. He needs that set of friends.
Yeah.
So he can grow.
He doesn't have a great core group of friends. He doesn't show any growth.
He doesn't have
He needs a Barney.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Barney. He doesn't have a Lily.
Yeah, doesn't have a Marshall.
No, a Marshall.
No Robin.
I think Zooey Deschanel's character could be the Robin.
Could have been the Robin, but he never gets back together with her ever. She gets married, she's happy.
Yeah.
And he just kind of bounces from girl to girl till he grows up.
Well, her husband could be his Barney.
That would be weird.
We're making too many connections and we got away from the point again. So what you would change is, like, his dramatic, like, you would have growth for him.
Yeah, and maybe another musical number. That would have been fun, too.
That would have been fun. I would have loved if he got all the sad fucking, like, it got a sad emo number. Like, straight up, like, James Cagney in the rain, fucking with a hat on. Just fucking, it would have been beautiful.
Yeah, you know, I think that the one that I really did like was that when he had the meltdown at the card company and then he quits there at the spot because it's like, finally, like, there you go. He's like...
This is the kick in the pants you need, and I expected
and I thought,
things,
then I thought
that
there was
the
going
ball
to
would
be
get
more
rolling.
build. Yeah, but there wasn't.
Like, I wanted him to be a complete person if he was going to see her again, and he's not.
Nope.
I think you and I completely agree on what's wrong with this movie.
Well, there we go. That's good. Even if we didn't, I mean, that would have been okay, too.
Yeah. No, I've been fine with it, because there have been disagreements on this podcast. Some people want to defend movies to me that are terrible. Peter did.
Zach did a couple as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, Peter thought Man of Steel was good.
I never even watched it.
Man
I
of
listened to that one.
yeah. You were there.
Which one was
At IHOP.
Oh, wrong person. I was thinking
Comedian,
somebody else.
Peter. David.
There were a lot of things I didn't agree with.
Yeah, Peter's got a terrible taste in movies when we're talking about Jurassic World, which we all agree was not as good as it should have been.
The best part in Jurassic World, and I don't care, I know that, like, that became, like, popular overnight, but... Okay, so when I was in the theater, I had made great friends with this woman who had also brought in Chipotle. She was sitting next to me with her husband, and she had said that she had been to a movie earlier that summer, and somebody had ratted her out for bringing food in. So she asked me, do you mind that I brought my own food in here? And I said, no, that's fine. Who wants to spend $40 at the concession stand anyways?
Not me.
So she pulls out of her bag two bowls of Chipotle dinners, nachos, and then like a full-size drinking like glass.
This woman is a fucking champion at life.
And but I will have to say, like, you know, it was annoying smelling all the onions like right there through the whole film. But I was like, do your thing. I was like completely for this. And the whole movie we were like basically making our own commentary, which probably just irritated the hell out of everyone there. But the moment when the pterodactyls come and you see the guy holding his margaritas and he goes, oh shit, and he's running, double fisting the margaritas.
He won't drop the margarita. Yeah, but in that situation...
but both of us looked at each other and we went, did you see that guy? Because I think
margarita.
And she's just like, he was gonna drop those, and I went, hell no, they were both $12. Like they were at Jurassic World.
Also, in his defense, that's the day you're gonna want the margaritas.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like he's being attacked by pterodactyls. Two, it's an amusement park, so they are going to be like $20 each. So like,
my favorite thing is
on an isolated island.
The ending part of that
why
scene.
Why is there no helicopters? Why is there only one helicopter? Like
because they all get boated in.
Yeah.
Like, they shipped in.
Ooh, I know.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like,
There's not enough space for landing pads with all the fucking look, if they put more helicopter pads in there, they would have had to cut into the space for the dinosaur habitats. And PETA's not going to go for that. I mean, these guys have already gone extinct once. We're not going to fucking cut in there. Like, you don't want them in a really close space.
Oh, nothing bad's going to happen here. They're just a bunch of dinosaurs running around.
Dude, I would have a running bet with my friends going to the park, like, $5. $5 says one of them breaks out. Someone's gonna die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, like, it had been going on for a while.
Yeah, it had.
Like, we're gonna build a giant monster.
Yeah.
And so it's literally made so that everybody can get
really,
killed by it.
was the kids divorcing parents,
No.
was that even worth it?
No.
Was that worth
No, that was all a bullshit story just to put in the kids to have a moment together.
Yeah, they mentioned it like twice.
But here's the cool thing. That moment gives that kid a fucking, like, a career to do other stuff. Because the way that kid, the youngest one, plays it, he is fucking amazing. I was like, this kid has the best chops in this movie.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was like, it was never said, but it was like he was probably autistic. So, but it's like, what?
Wow, no, he's just a young kid. Where do you get autistic from him?
Look at the things in the movie. Like, he has eidetic memory.
Yeah, that's true.
He, like...
Okay, yes.
He has all the signs of
He
being
does have
autistic.
some autistic tendencies.
Exactly. Like, literally, whenever they find the Jeeps and he just shoots out exactly what they are, the year, make, model.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Okay. Yeah, I can
He
see
was
that.
he was autistic. Whenever his mom comes into his room and she has to get his attention,
That's true.
he was autistic.
Oh, yeah. I like that if he is autistic, if that was actually the choice, that they didn't...
You forget, I've
balance
grown
that.
up my entire life with a mother that's a social worker.
That's true. But no, if they did and they didn't make a big deal of it, that's fucking great.
That's my point. Like, the signs are there, but nobody said anything.
But he pulls a lot. Like, he had a great performance. Like, Chris Pratt's a good actor, and his performance
Maybe that's
is
why his
nothing.
brother's so harsh on him.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
why he keeps walking away from him. It's a lot to handle for him.
Mhm.
I can see that.
See?
Yeah, that
or
actually...
he's just tired of it. Because I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
He's
like
a teenager.
He's the one that's he has to look out for his younger brother.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that movie.
My
I'm not even
favorite
going to
scene-
touch on the
my
heels and the way she's
favorite
wearing. To
scene-
the
I know.
movie.
I kind of love the fact that she was in heels the whole time. I hate how they portrayed her, but I love the fact that she was just like, no, let's go.
She gets
Let's do
two
this.
cool moments.
doesn't break a damn heel though, and she is like pristine white until
Yeah.
like the very end.
Yeah.
But when she just takes the rifle and just
My
straight up
favorite...
butts it and shoots it
That's
like
not
3
even the
times.
coolest. That was awesome. That one's awesome. Like,
Fucking
I
awesome.
understand
Or
why
when
Chris
she's
Pratt's
running
like,
with
I'm in
the
love.
flare. When she's running with the flare.
That's
at
my
T-Rex.
better moment where she's like, I'm gonna fucking get the biggest predator we had before this bitch, and I'm gonna chase this bitch down with it.
It's like, her as an actress, she would made sure that she wasn't completely shit on with the inherent sexism that script broke into.
Oh yeah, it had a
It was
lot.
very sexist, but her as an actress played that character
The
completely
need to
straight.
be a
Like,
mother to be complete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so what would you change about 500?
We already did what we changed. But what we've come to is things you like. The cast is amazing. The musical number's fantastic. Things you don't like. He's a fucking sniveling boy even at the end. He doesn't have any emotional growth. It kind of makes, because people don't know how to fucking respond to this kind of relationship portrayed in a movie, honestly, it makes people think that Zooey Deschanel's character of Summer's supposed to be the villain, which is based, that's more on the people who watch
Zooey
it.
Deschanel being a villain in anything is just stupid.
I would love to see her play a supervillain.
That would be
Have
awesome,
her
though,
play
but it's like,
supervillain.
I'm the goofy villain.
she's like a cupcake monster or something.
No, she would be the
I'm
perfect.
just quirky.
She would be the perfect second villain for oh fuck, what's the movie we liked but I didn't really originally want to see with Samuel L. Jackson and fucking the spy movie.
Kingsman.
Yes, she'd be the best second villain for a sequel to Kingsman. I want her to be adorable and the villain for Kingsman.
I agree with that. You know,
And-
I thought that movie was gonna be crappy, and I absolutely loved it.
It's fantastic. The only thing I want more is more of the fucking girl cadet.
I'm so pissed that
When she was in the parachute,
I wish
like-
that he was there, but like, you think he's gonna come back? You think that was just a?
No, he's Samuel L. Jackson.
No.
Yeah, no,
Colin
he's
Firth.
dead.
I know, but
Colin
I was
Firth
just
is
like,
dead. I want more Colin Firth.
Colin
yes.
Firth, he got shot in the face.
That first bar scene though, where he just
no,
beats
it's
the
like
shit
an
out
ancient
of him.
movie. They could have just like.
He got shot in
I
the
know,
face. There was
know.
blood splatter. Yeah.
However,
I'm very
the banter
aware.
between him and Samuel L. Jackson when they were discussing the old spy films,
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast. But what we did agree, Zooey Deschanel is a villain. That's where we got off on the tangent. I just got back to that.
Yeah.
But we agree that this film would be much better if they, made the character grow.
Just developed him more. Yep.
Which makes me wonder, because if you watch the director's commentary on this, the writer's commentary on it, he does discuss how this is based off a lot of relationships in his life, and I wonder how long it took him after this relationship to actually make those steps.
He probably had to truly go in. He probably had to lose himself in his career first to actually do something he loved, because he was at a soul-sucking job.
Yeah.
He's not going to love his life because he's not doing something he enjoys.
And maybe that's
Not
why
that
he
writing
wanted
greeting
people-
cards is soul-sucking.
Maybe
but
that's
for
like
someone
what
else.
For what
Yeah.
he wanted people to, see that. Like, maybe he was like hoping that like people do see this immature, person, and hoping that they grow at least from that and not make the same mistakes that he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I like that. I like this. And,
Sierra, you have been fun to have on the podcast. And we got on, this is a very tangent-heavy
It
episode.
happens every time we're not in the studio.
No, it did happen with Marcos, though, and it happened with Zach. Actually, even in the studio, I get on really tangent.
It's
but this
worse
one,
when I'm here.
this was, yeah, it's
It's worse when I'm here.
It's 4 of us in this.
Yeah.
This is the most Ann's ever chimed in on a podcast.
It is.
But, so Sierra, what would you like to plug? Like, do you have anything? You have a Twitter handle, you have the Facebook page for...
Dialogue's going on here.
Yes, dialogue.
Dialogue will be on here.
Sweet. That just.
Well, you want to tell them because they might not understand what dialogue means.
Well, dialogue is the actual name for the feminist club at Rock Valley, and the motto for that, or I guess the mission statement, is "Open minds begin with open dialogue."
I like it.
We wanted to keep it very abstract and gender neutral, and so basically everyone, because there is a negative stigma with the word feminist, and I think that if we are going to be approachable and educational as well, and people who do have maybe a negative, view of that word, this will be more welcoming. And
My worry with people having a negative view of the word, and I want people to identify as feminist, and I want it to be something people are cool and comfortable with, and mostly it comes from the fact that
well, it's negative because it still has a woman.
yeah, that's it. That's
to it.
it. Men just don't want to be called feminine, and it's like, what's wrong with feminine? Is there something wrong with your mom? Is there something wrong with the women in your life? Like, do you view them as something less than you? No? Then stop being afraid to be called feminine. It's fine. Before you were a dude in the womb, you were a woman in the womb, so it's cool.
That male archetype.
Yeah, it's
Just
all that
seems-
stuff where you
yeah.
have to be tough and masculine.
Yeah, when there's people that
Yep.
say, well, why isn't it humanist? I'm like, well, why do you still have a problem with the word feminist?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a problem with the word feminine, it would just be egalitarianism. But you have a problem being associated with women, and that's a fucking problem.
And there's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
so many, I know that I've...
We've gotten off on the podcast again, but I love this discussion.
Well, no, there's been so many times where I've discussed in the circle, even with Ann and Jerry, when Maddie and I had first talked about the club, and when we approached different people, just in the 2 weeks long, how I have been objectified, and I've had some of the most sexist remarks said to me, and even from people that I would consider very close friends, and which is just astounding. Like I said earlier, one of our friends said, wouldn't it be an insult to be called the president of the feminist club? And I still don't see how this is an insult.
I don't understand how it's funny or insulting.
Yeah, and and somebody was asking my roommate about different clubs, and so my roommate had saw me coming up to the circle and said, "Oh, well, there's a feminist club," and someone had asked, "Well, who's in charge of that? Are they real feminazis?" And I find it funny that we have a degree of feminism that there's not just you're a feminist, it's, well, are you an ultra feminist? Are you, far extreme? But no one has ever asked, how sexist are you?
Yeah.
How, are you mildly sexist or are you uber sexist? We can tolerate sexism, but we can't tolerate feminism.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's fucked up. We could. Oh my god, this is another episode. We're gonna come up with a topic for an episode where we can have this discussion.
Finish the
So,
plug-in.
But yes.
What we're gonna
I'll
have.
just stop recording
but
every
yes,
record.
so my point for this club is to educate. Also, I would like for each semester to have some kind of volunteer service provided with the club where we help out with either the Rockford Rescue Mission or MELD or something else contributing to the community. But most of all, I just want to educate people and spread the knowledge that equality needs to exist.
And for those in the Rockford area, or those who just want to communicate online, where can we find dialogue?
I think that's just the Facebook page.
Is there a
just
Facebook
dialogue.
page?
Yes, there
Okay.
is.
Facebook page is dialogue.
There's a beautiful meme of my face
Yeah.
smashing the patriarchy.
Yes.
Well, photo credit, Sherry Gossen. Well,
5 minutes spent on Photoshop.
well, you've been a fantastic guest.
Thank you. I enjoyed being here.
Thank you. I look forward to having you on again. For I Want to Like This, I'm Thomas Sinclair. You can find me personally at the T Sinclair on Twitter and the Thomas Sinclair on Facebook. You can, of course, always find and contact any one of us, whether it be Ann, who will most likely be answering the message. Jerry, you can get a hold of Jerry and myself through I Want to Like This on Facebook and on Twitter. You guys have a great day, and, go see a movie. Try not to be a dick.